Welcome back. We have a special guest here today, Jackie. She is an incredible garden to table chef. You may recognize her from her Weather Girl days, which you did for how many years?
About 15 years in LA.
Yeah, and so you can find her online as the Weather Chef. Her cooking is kind of similar to mine. We both love to be herb heavy and healthy and whatever is seasonal. So today, Jackie is going to share with us one of her favorite summer go-to dishes.
That's right. Thank you so much, Brittany. I'm so happy to be here. Today we're doing a spicy shrimp with blistered tomatoes, cannoli beans, and I do want to say that if you're vegan or you don't like shrimp, you can replace it with scallops, flaky whitefish, or even just double the beans and you can make a vegan dip with it.
Oh, yum. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's really good. And I know I say spicy. My husband's Irish, and it's not that spicy.
Okay.
So don't you worry.
So the kids can eat it?
Yeah.
Great.
They're totally fine with it. They love the bread. I always do a little garlic bread just to make everyone happy. But so we use 1 pound of shrimp. We were talking earlier. We like it deveined.
Yeah, we don't want to do that ourselves. If you can get it deveined, ask the butcher. They'll do it for you, or they'll already have it there for you.
That's right. And then we rinsed it. And then we've got olive oil. I use a lot of olive oil, oregano, red pepper flakes, and paprika. And then this is the bean that I use, the cannoli beans. You can use any kind of white bean, a navy bean, or anything just to kind of give it that texture, and it adds protein too. 1 lime. I know we have a lot of limes here, but
They're pretty.
yes, they're pretty. So what you're going to do with the lime, you're actually going to just zest the whole thing and then cut it in half. I'll explain later. But 1 lime. I use a ton of garlic, so 5 cloves of
I love garlic, so
I
the
know
more
you
the
do.
better.
Yeah,
I
that's
love
why I love your cooking.
Yeah.
A bunch of parsley. I love parsley. And in this recipe, I think I put about a 1/4 cup, but you can use a cup, you can use half cup, more the merrier.
Just more your preference.
Yeah, exactly. And then 1 pint, so if you go to the grocery store, a pint of, I like using cherry tomatoes because I like the way they pop when you get blister.
Yeah.
But if worst case scenario, you can cut up a tomato, canned tomatoes, especially if you're making like a creamy dip. Canned one's fine. A bunch of sea salt. And then, of course, the bread. I'm just going to make a really simple garlic bread at the end.
Yum.
So the first thing I do is make a marinade.
Okay.
Because the longer the shrimp sit, the better. If it's 15 minutes, that's enough. But you can even make this before you go pick up the kids from school.
Oh, perfect.
And then it's even good.
And just pop it in the fridge while it's resting. Yeah, okay, great.
So for the marinade, I would use, if you want, half of these chopped up.
Okay.
Just however you want. And I'm going to zest 1 lime and then 5 cloves of garlic.
Finally, or we have our garlic press today.
Oh, nice. I love lime, like the zest of lime. So something I learned when I started cooking, in the last 7 years is even though the zest is good in chicken or shrimp, you don't want to marinate with the actual juices. And you taught me this too with the chicken because it makes it tough.
Yeah.
Doesn't parsley smell so good?
No, parsley, any fresh herb, chopping it is absolutely my favorite. I don't think I ever make a salad without an herb chopped into it just because it adds so much more flavor to it. And that lime smells insane.
I know. I always feel like they should make parsley scented things. You know how they use all the different things? Like,
Maybe we should make a candle.
I know, right? It's so fresh. It smells like spring or summer.
Yeah. How finely do you want this chopped?
That's
Like pretty
perfect.
finely?
Just like that.
Okay. Do one last chop. And then add to the bowl?
Yes.
Okay.
So add that to the bowl. And then, so while I do the spices, if you can just mince 5 cloves of garlic or whatever you think you want. 5 might be a lot for people. I know
I'll do 6, actually.
I like that. So then this is really easy numbers. We're going to do 1/2 teaspoon of oregano of each actual spice for now.
When was the first time you made this meal? Do you remember? Is it like something special you make often or?
I think, I'm always just trying to come up with something, and shrimp is so easy to cook and so quick, but I like spice and I like flavor. So, and parsley. And every time I make something, I'm sure you're the same way. I kind of change it.
Yeah,
and then
totally. I like now keeping a notepad by me every time I cook because it's so good. But then I'm like, wait, what did I do differently this time? Or like, how did I make that?
And then you forget.
Totally.
I think that's actually why I started even doing this whole weather chef thing, is because I'd make something and my husband was like, so good. And then I'm like, well, I kind of made that up. I don't remember how I made that. So then I started writing it all down. And
do you write as you go, or how do you keep track of it?
I write usually afterwards because we eat and then it's bedtime. So usually after the kids go to bed.
Yeah. When you were a meteorologist / weather girl, did you cook during that time, or did you have time to cook? Did you enjoy it, or?
No. So that's another thing, is I only started cooking really the last 7 years, because I never cooked when I was a weather girl. I would work the evening news. I'd come, I'd eat a salad on my break. I mean, it was not really being in the studio, you just didn't have time to cook. So my husband, after we got married, he expected these like great meals every night. I thought, oh, I need to learn. And so I took a bunch of cooking classes. And
where did you take them?
So in Nashville, where we were living at the time, there was, I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, but Sur La Table.
Oh, yeah.
And they had these actual awesome cooking classes. So I started there. Then I've taken them through schooling online.
Oh, amazing.
Le Cordon Bleu recently for nutrition, which something you're interested in, I know.
Yes, I love that.
Oh, that garlic smells so good. So what I did was I put in 2 tablespoons of olive oil just so the marinade gets all over the shrimp. Because we put a lot of parsley in, I might put 1 more tablespoon in just so it's a little more liquid. Like I said, this is all fluid.
Yeah. You can't really go wrong with parsley and garlic and like the spices you put in there.
All right, so now as you're doing that, I'm going to start to add in the shrimp.
Okay.
And whoops.
This last one. Okay.
Perfect. I'm giving you all the bad jobs. These are the ones I usually give my daughter and my husband. Sorry.
That's great. The jobs I normally give other people. I'm like, here, cut all the garlic.
Yeah. All right, so I'm just going to kind of stir this around.
Oh, yum.
And let it marinate. And like you said, you could cover this with Reynolds wrap, stick it in the fridge. But since we are doing this all live, it will, we'll just let it sit for the rest of the time we cook everything. But this meal could, if you really had it down, you could make this whole thing in 20 minutes.
Oh, perfect.
I'm going to do 1 teaspoon of salt.
Amazing.
I love flaky salt. So
Me
I'm glad
too.
you have that. And then I'll actually put a little more in again, maybe like a ½ teaspoon more when we're cooking the tomatoes.
Great. Oh, that already looks amazing.
Okay, there we go. I mean, but something so simple, like, doesn't that look?
Yeah.
Just pretending I'm a really great cook.
You are.
Okay, so while that is marinating, then I'm actually, since we're going to cook the garlic bread for 10 minutes, I'm actually going to just prep that now.
Perfect. I'm going to put these in the sink.
Okay. So what I'm going to do, just super simple garlic bread, is I just add some olive oil. And you can broil this if you want to make it fast, but I am always chatting or forgetting, and then I burn my bread. So I usually do it at 425 for about 10, 12 minutes.
Okay.
And then just using a little pastry brush to get it even. And then after it cooks, we'll do the garlic rub on the top. And but if you don't want to do that, you can also just put garlic salt on. But I like it like this. So Brittany's back there cutting up all the parsley. Thank you so much. And so much fun having Brittany with me. I wish you could be
I
with
love
me
it.
every day. So now is when things just really take off with this meal. It will be ready very quickly. So what I'm going to do is first I had put the olive oil on the bread. I'm going to stick that into the oven. Again, I'll know it's ready because that's about the time that this is ready. I time it up so it's ready in about 10 to 12 minutes. So the oil is heating up probably on medium-high heat. And then what I'm going to do now is put in my tomatoes. And if you've ever blistered tomatoes before, it is quick, it is easy, and kind of pretty to watch. Like, you'll know it's ready when they start to just burst a little bit. The skin will start to separate. And about another half teaspoon of salt will go on top. And then I'm just going to stir it up. I think I'm going to turn the heat a little higher, just because you can't really burn the tomatoes. This is the best thing about this. All right, so I don't know if you can see how the skin is starting to separate a little bit. That means they're starting to pop. So
Perfect.
oh, while we also rinsed the canali beans. So those are clean. And now I'm going to put the shrimp in. And if you know shrimp, they cook very quickly, which I love, about 3 minutes. And so you can kind of tell because they start to turn pink. Isn't that slick?
I love it. Yeah,
Smells
it's amazing.
Oh, they match your...
Oh my gosh, yeah, it smells so good.
So I'm just going to kind of let them... And the best thing about this or anything with garlic in it is your husband, kids, somebody walks in the door, they smell garlic cooking and they immediately think like, wow, you're cooking something great.
You must have spent hours
Yeah,
on this dish.
yeah.
And you're like, yes, I did.
Just don't look at my browsing history.
Yeah.
All right, so shrimp are looking good. I kind of toss them around so they just make sure they get evenly cooked because I'm weird about
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
shrimp. Like,
Yeah.
I'm good with overcooking it, but
Yeah.
so now toward the end, you're gonna throw in the beans. So if you want, if your kids don't like beans, you can actually puree these before, or honestly, just cook them up like I'm cooking right now. Cook them a little bit longer because they'll start to get mushy and not so much the bean consistency, but more like of a dip or a creamy sauce consistency. And anything to get the kids eating something healthy, I always think. Any little tricks. But the good thing about this, it's got tons of parsley. You've got your tomatoes, your protein. So it's pretty healthy with the garlic. There's nothing not healthy about this. So
Yeah. It smells amazing and it looks great. I'm so excited about this meal.
so this is basically ready to go.
Okay, our bread is out, our shrimp is ready, and we're just gonna finish and plate it up.
That's right. The best part is the bread right here. We're just rubbing garlic on the bread that toasted.
Yum. This is just like, is amazing. So I feel like if I was making this for my family, I would need 2 more of the bread.
I always do mine in little triangles. How
Oh,
do you
that's
do yours?
cute. You do it like that. I just do slices. I like the triangles though.
Because I feel like the kids think it's like a little piece of pizza that way. But
Oh, smart.
okay, now don't forget to squeeze fresh lime juice on top.
I'm gonna do that right now. Thank you so much, Jackie, for doing this with us and teaching us such a yummy, simple meal to have this summer. And I hope you come back again and cook with me again.
And of course, I love you.